We
And what a win it was.
yeah. Free Chinese shoes. You're watching BlurdDotRadio. Oh no, wait. We're also live. I didn't warn you all before I did that. I am your host, Mike Stidham. I am joined by Ash Guardian. I figured that intro still disguises her face enough that she won't be mad at me, but I'm sure I'll get a chat that says that she's mad at me. Ash is frozen at the moment. We'll resolve it. I am also joined by Kenny. And our special guests tonight he's been on the show, what? This is your third time?
Yeah, it's my third time.
Yeah, second time without a Malort chat. Yep. We won't make it a fourth. CEO of, and if I'm getting the titles wrong, correct me. CEO of Light Engine Labs and Lumina Energy. Walking, talking man of the future. We think in 2020, he thinks in 2030. David Jones is here. Also joining him, Oscar Trujillo. Oscar, remind me of your title.
Yes, I am actually the lead tech consultant with Light Engine Labs.
There you go. Do you all want to give a quick what's what about Light Engine Labs and what you all do?
Sure. I'll hand it off to Mr. Oscar.
All right. So, Light Engine Labs, we're a full stack end-to-end web development firm. We do all that good stuff, right? We do mobile applications, websites, web apps, back-end services. We walk people through the process and give them a product that they're happy with at the end of the day.
Nice. If somebody wanted to use your services, where would they find you?
They can find us at our website, lightenginelabs.com, and they could always shoot me over an email at oscar@lightenginelabs.com as well.
All right. So, folks, just throwing it out here now, DJ LO Kari is out for the evening. So is Steve. I'm piloting the ship, so it might get bumpy.
Oh yeah.
Like, see this on my face. That's not a comment.
Mike, you can do it. I believe you.
What I told the gang is Dad's cooking dinner tonight. So lukewarm spaghettios.
Hot dogs and spaghettios.
Or we'll just order pizza and cereal, cake. I don't know. Here, eat it.
Yes, lots of cake.
Yeah. So, folks, we're going to start off the show the way that we start off every show with Blurred Out.
Blurred it out.
Do I have a blurred out this week? Kenny, why don't you get into your blurred out and we'll see if I got it.
Okay. I have two. First, I've been playing Super Mario Odyssey on my Switch, and
which one is that?
I know that was the first Mario game for the Switch. Basically, that's the one where he's on he pilots a balloon ship and his hat beats everybody up.
Oh yeah.
You fling your hat around. He has all the sweet costumes.
Is it any good?
Is it any good? It's Mario. Come on. It's great. No, seriously, it's actually I think it might be my favorite Mario game. Like,
really?
I still really enjoyed playing Super Mario World. I think it's my favorite of all the generations. I know a lot of people love Super Mario 64, or even Super Mario Galaxy, but Mario Odyssey, the gameplay is open world. Like, it takes that fun classic Super Mario 64 and it just improves upon it tenfold. But it also does a great job of doing the old classic Super Mario Brothers from the NES. You kind of play 2D as well as 3D, so it's super exciting. And it's a definite break from the usual first person shoot 'ems or everything cyberpunk this or GTA that. I think Mario continues to just do what he does best, and it's just like fight Bowser across many worlds. It's pretty wild.
Nice. Have you finished it yet? Does Bowser turn into some crazy thing at the end? Because I imagine.
No, I'm actually I've played a healthy chunk of it, but I am currently I'm one of those people that likes to go back to the old world because there's so much extra stuff to do, and there's so much extra to find. So like I'm constantly trying to solve the puzzles and look for all the extra power moves. So I am close to beating it, but I have not yet. But my second blurred out is I watched the Wonder Woman 84 on Christmas Day, and it was surprisingly very good. I was not a fan of the first one. I thought it was inconsistent. And it was the first half of it was very good. The second half was very trash. But
Nigel Thornberry turned into a god of Olympus. I don't know what you're
that was ridiculous. Yeah.
Sober watching Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, Ash is Olympus.
Yeah, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
Why?
What was that?
Bad image of me.
That was wild.
With my friend in it.
Yeah. I figured you try to hide your identity a little, so maybe you don't know which one Ash is.
You couldn't use any of the many other photos I've used that did not have somebody else in the picture.
There weren't that many.
You couldn't use crop.
But I didn't. Thank you for
I wasn't
joining
done.
this program.
Yeah, he wasn't done. I was asking him a question.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you for fixing your issues over there.
I was
joining
here
us tonight.
What was your question, Ashley?
Were you sober?
Yeah. Why would it matter? Hi, me.
Because you just
it's the same thing.
84 as being very good.
It
it
was.
The first one was not coherent.
Yeah.
But already there's at least a dozen Wonder Woman 84 videos on all the plot inconsistencies and plot holes.
I mean, Kenny also likes Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I don't think he lets other people
like it.
Well, here's the thing. You know what?
Okay, so
I feel like people just want to shit on Wonder Woman 84. So I was like, yes, I like the movie.
No,
it wasn't bad.
I'm not
like,
saying you can't
no,
like
because like
I'm trying to understand where you found coherency where there wasn't.
I didn't think any of it was incoherent at all. As many comic books as I've read where there's multiple inconsistencies and MacGuffins. That's the thing. I think people who like to do those, like, here's the problem with this, don't understand the comic books are like inherently goofy and have ridiculous things happen. So yes, it was ridiculous. Yes, things were absurd. But you know what? The main plot was this is a story about love and how Wonder Woman need to get past it. And she does. And honestly, it wasn't about a man, essentially, which was wonderful. So I found I'm trying to like not get mad and annoyed by this because it's like everybody wants to like really hone in on like this is DC. Yeah, like it's much easier to shit on a DC movie than to like actually like, you know what? It wasn't bad. That's my whole problem. A lot of those YouTube videos, like it's clickbait to like get you just to like try to shit on something because it's low hanging fruit because it's a DC movie.
Sure.
No,
like, yes, Superman. Hold on, Superman was bad. Batman was bad.
It was.
Like the last decade of like DC films have been terrible. Like let's just put it out there. They've been bad, but I think the problem with a lot of criticism today in terms of media, in terms of film, is that it's easier to look to the sins of the past as opposed to like seeing what they're trying to do better. And that's all I saw. Wonder Woman 84 was a movie that wanted to be better than its predecessors. Like not just Wonder Woman, but like all the other DC movies besides Shazam and to a lesser extent Aquaman, because I did say I didn't really care for it too much. But once again, Aquaman was fun. Like here's the thing about all the DC movies is that I didn't enjoy is that they were all so drab and boring. Everybody's the saddest
Everything was
fucker in the
Batman.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's not DC characters. They're bright, they're fun, they elicit hope. And you know what? You know what Wonder Woman 84 gave me? Hope. Like I enjoyed just the whole idea that like, guess what? Both of your main villains actually didn't get killed, and you actually left open ending for a certain villain to come back. So like, honestly, that's something that Marvel doesn't even do that well either. By the way, is that Marvel always tries to murder off their villains, and it leaves them with nothing to do, and try to like they have to like go to the deepest depths of Marvel like lore to find some new bad guy. So my whole thing is that enjoy that DC actually wants you to enjoy these movies. Like they're actually listening to people in terms of like people who truly want to see these movies do better. Like I know people who love the Batman Superman movies who also like the Wonder Woman stuff. So this is just a segment that like enjoyed it. But there are people who are like me who did not care for any of that DC stuff after the third Batman. So and then like
would you say the reason why you didn't like?
Hey guys, it's 7:41. I want to get rolling with the BlurdOuts, and then we can talk more about this like in Act 3 because we don't have the strongest headlines to talk about.
Okay, so yeah, that was my blurred out. Wonder Woman 84 was surprisingly good.
Well, we'll get back to that. I let you have that moment.
You're not listening. You're not letting me have anything. That is my moment.
Kids,
yes,
come on.
Letting you have your moment.
We'll
put a pin in that and circle back.
And then I will.
I feel like you felt like you were being attacked, and honestly, I was
trying to get
not
an opinion
you. I'm talking about someone who actually liked Wonder Woman.
Ash, what's your blurred out? Actually, wait. I don't want this to cut you off. Hold on. I got
Do not do it.
Okay.
Anyway, nothing much this week. I have a new computer.
Oh, nice.
So that is what you guys are seeing from.
How's that working out?
So far, so good. It doesn't look like I need to return this.
Okay.
But it's like a 15-inch screen, and I'm used to like my 24-inch Mac. So
is it a Mac or is it a PC?
It's a PC.
Okay.
So there's like a slight language curve again that I have to get used to. Yeah. Especially working in OBS. In my virtual setup, it's a little different.
Okay. How was their Christmas with the family?
Oh, it's fine. I'm broke, so nobody got anything. Everybody has
Mickey socks. They were cute socks.
Yeah, everybody got expensive taste now.
Nah.
Like everybody got like Louis Vuitton, and I'm like, no. I got Louis Vuitton money.
You got the fancy family.
Y'all getting these hot chocolate bombs, and y'all gonna share.
Pass the cup around.
Basically.
Yeah.
There's two left.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. It's 2020. Anybody that expected good gifts?
I give good gifts throughout the year.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get a Christmas gift, you probably got a birthday gift.
There you go. Well, thank you, Ash. Moving on to our guests. David, what you got?
Oh man, let me just say that 2020 has been wild.
That's a fact. That's an undeniable fact.
But I think that it's also kind of a polarizing wild. So to contextualize, it's been wild good for me, not wild bad. Okay. And there have been so many just unexpected blessings and just cool stuff that's been happening. So I have two blurred outs. First one is we have successfully launched the largest privately owned renewable energy trade school in America.
Wait.
And I didn't need all that.
I feel like you did.
That was a lot of pomp and circumstance going on. So basically what that consists of is a partnership with a number of different organizations. And we've hired several engineers that are doubling as instructors. We now have 20 individuals, some of which are returning citizens that literally have just gotten out of prison and are getting a second chance at life.
Nice.
So, yeah, they've been thrust headlong into a 16-week rigorous training course that will, at the end, teach them how to become solar installers and a number of other tech-related things. So they'll also be learning about the virtual power plant, which I invented. I talked a little bit about that on the show. So if you can imagine, it's a hybrid program that's teaching them both how to become hands-on with the hardware components. It's incorporating obviously electrical engineering. There's also some software engineering involved too. They're learning how to code with Python, which is really cool.
Sure.
And tomorrow we're taking a trip out to one of our clients who happens to be the largest Black-owned farm in Illinois.
Okay.
So that's going to be really cool. We're going out there in the morning, and they're going to literally see the solar arrays that we put up,
Very cool.
kind of get that hands-on experience there. So
What's
I'm really
the name of
excited
that
about
farm,
that.
real quick?
It's called Black Oaks Farm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted the listeners to know that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Number two, this is a big one. This was something unexpected, and Oscar and I have kind of got this news at the same time, like this week. So we have officially broken ground on a 10-acre plot of land that we're converting into a solar city.
It was deserved. That's big. That's a big fucking deal. Congratulations on that.
Yeah, so we're taking, I think it's 90 townhomes across a span of 10 acres. We're putting in a solar farm. It's going to be really cool. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, those are my two BlurdOuts, and I'm trying not to be braggadocious or spill the beans on sort of the heavier nuances, but yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. Well, if you want to brag, I'll give you all.
Yeah, brag away.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, like Andre 3000 said, I'm just being honest. No.
I just thought he was making noises. Well, yeah, that's big news. Let people know again where they can follow, where they can find Light Engine, Lumina, and follow this success story.
Sure. So Oscar is going to take the lead on Light Engine Labs news for tonight. Okay. And I will strictly talk about Lumina Energy. So if you want to keep up with us, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram at I think it's at Lumina Energy. Okay. You can also check out the website luminaenergy.com. That's LUMENA energy.com.
Cool. Well, thank you. And again, it's an honor to have you joining us.
Always a pleasure,
Tony
brother.
Dark that's not just a joking name. This man thinks in 2040. Like he's one of our better representatives.
And I'm grateful that you knighted me, Tony Dark, by the way. So you definitely get the coin for that.
I'll send an invoice. I won't. That's a joke. Oscar, what BlurdOuts do you have today?
Yes. Well, David already spilled the beans on the exciting one, so I'll do a personal one. This past week, I've been messing around with Canva, just doing Zoom background and trying to do some basic graphic design here and there. And I sent a picture earlier today to David of a business card that I just made in like 5 minutes. It was like reminiscent of like really old business cards from like 2008 with like the ridiculous headshot in the middle of a business card and like
straight Magic Studio.
Nice. Very, very cool. Do you have a copy of that business card?
Oh man, I'd have to download it, but not at this moment.
Here's the picture that Oscar did send us just as a reminder. That helmet. Is that your personal helmet? Did you wear that on the job?
That's what gets me in the mood to be doing graphic design. No,
helmet.
His Mojo helmet.
Music. Yeah.
My son was playing with his swords, and he thought it was funny to be hitting my head. So I just grabbed the nearest thing to cover my head.
That's important for kids to do is hit their fathers with stuff. I don't remember being that age. I don't know why. I'm not a child psychologist. But kids like hitting adults. It's one of our jobs for children. Well, thank you all very much for your BlurdOuts. Since DJ LO Kari isn't here to hit you with some hits personally, I'm going to try something. I hope this doesn't look too janky. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to play the hits that he hit you with last week. You're watching BlurdDotRadio, BlurdDotRadio. We will be back in about 15, 20 minutes with trailers. Stay tuned. Also, stay tuned to watch me fuck this up. There we go.
You can do it, buddy. You can do it. We believe in you.
Deep breaths. All right. Share screen. Hitting the button. I want to share. Do I want to hit this? This one? This one here? All right. You're going to see all of my Facebook information. Actually, wait a minute. All right, I'm going to do one of these. Then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to do one of this. We're going to hit this button. We're going to do this here, and pop.
That is literally us from last week.
Mm-hmm. Is it loud enough?
Nope.
I don't hear anything, sir.
Well, hopefully everybody else has
The important people.
Babies are best enjoyed when I don't have to deal with them. So cute. Any luck over there, Dad? Huh?
All right. To be clear, you all can't hear this?
Nope.
Ah, shit. Let me check.
No one can hear it.
Hold on. You said no one can hear it?
No, I'm asking, can no one hear it?
I'm also asking that question.
I don't hear anything. But also, should I mute here and see if it's playing on Twitch?
Yes, please.
And
Dude, Mike, where'd you go? Mike, buddy, there's nothing playing on Twitch. There's no music playing on Twitch, Chief.
We lost the host.
Did he just jump ship on his own ship?
Dad has jumped out of the car, and I can't.
Tuck and roll. Wait, are we still live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This is wonderful. Yes, we are absolutely live because I'm checking on Twitch, and that is wonderful. Okay,
if you're listening,
Mike, where'd you go, buddy? What happened here? His computer probably crashed, I would assume.
All right. Well, since he's gone, we can get back to the Wonder Woman conversation. So before you get up in arms again,
I'm not up in arms.
I just wanted your opinion as someone who has declared they liked Wonder Woman 84, but didn't like the first one, while other people do not like Wonder Woman 84, but preferred the first one.
Sure.
And seemingly for the reverse reasons that you like and dislike them. I just find that interesting.
Yeah,
can anybody hear the video yet?
There was nothing on Twitch.
I don't understand why the share screen isn't working. So you all can't see it either?
Nope.
No.
Maybe we just don't have a break.
Yeah, maybe there's no break.
That's weird because I don't know. If I can't share a screen, I don't know what the fuck to do. So the share screen is not working at all.
Well, I'm doing the show.
No?
No.
Shit, it's fucking crazy.
Hold on. Yeah, it's sharing now. I see this. I see the video now.
But you can't hear it.
Hold on.
Yeah, no audio yet.
Wait, you closed it.
Yeah, I took it up. Jerry Whitworth said you got to flip it and reverse it. I'm trying, Jerry. No. I can't share.
No, I mean I think that's just people's opinions too. Because I didn't think the first one made that much sense after a certain aspect. Like I said before, the first half of Wonder Woman is really good. It's Patty Jenkins' vision of Wonder Woman. The second half is not Patty Jenkins' vision of Wonder Woman. It's a bunch of white dudes talking, like putting their,
I imagine
their
you all
fingers
still
all
can't
over
hear
it.
the video.
No. But I see the video. Hold on. Don't do anything. I'm going to see if it's actually people can hear it on Twitch.
Giant monster hands like you. I was doing.
How the fuck does the share screen work on StreamYards if you can't hear the shit?
Okay, yeah, I can't hear the video. Has no sound on Twitch though.
Huh.
It's just us talking. It is just us talking.
People are going to stay tuned if you can only see it.
That's why me and Ashley are making conversation.
Yeah,
fill the void. No,
you might need to do something with your mic where if you're not outputting through OBS, then you can't change the output sounds.
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah,
we gotta fix all this in post.
Audio built in. Well, I could. Hold on.
Yeah, because if you're
the solution.
StreamYard,
if I go Wacha and then click it, click this, share.
Came in true numbers. I conquer what was hidden.
Okay, I hear music now.
Now I can hear it.
Girl, I wear me like the Eiffel Tower. Used to love while we watch Rocket Power. Let's get these. Smoothie's got the
No, it sounds fine.
3, we in blue, man. We had our shower. Said the sauce about a half an hour. Cooking something saucy with a
well, we'll continue this core debate after this break. What happened?
What happened to the music? Mike's frozen.
All right. So while Dad's gone again, yeah. So I actually did not mind Wonder Woman 1 up until the third act, and have not seen Wonder Woman 84 yet. But a lot of the issues people seem to have with it are issues that I can see myself having with it, though still being able to enjoy it. But I don't really care to watch it either. But I'm also one who will defend Batman forever to my dying breath. So I know what it feels like to like a critically and fan-panned comic book movie.
I don't know what people want when it comes. I don't understand what people want from movies because
Right,
if they wanted a solid, decent comic movie, Wonder Woman 84 was literally that. Because here's the thing, I wasn't planning on watching it at all because I don't care about, like, I'm kind of winded by hero movies, to be honest. I actually enjoyed the break we got due to the pandemic from all of these. So, like, I think the fact that, like, I haven't sat down and watched it was just like, okay, I don't have anything to do. Let me just check it out. So, like, that was even more reason why I was like, oh, I actually like this. I thought it was going to be a waste of my time. It absolutely was not. Like, and that's the other thing about Wonder Woman is that, like, Wonder Woman is nothing but magic and absurd. Like, I don't know where all this, like, there are plot holes in Wonder Woman because there's literally, like, YouTube channels dedicated to all things, like, Marvel comics and all kind of movies to find holes in plots with movies. So, like, I don't go for that type of critique. Like, did you like it? Did you enjoy watching it? Was the plot coherent enough for you to enjoy it? All those check boxes were like, boom, were knocked down for me. Like, everything about the movie that I thought was going to be bad actually made it that much more fun.
Yeah, like, again, a lot
I was surprised that
some people was like, they didn't know what the plot was, and it was like too slow for them.
The plot is literally Thing grants wishes.
Yeah. It was
because wishes. It's like it's the easiest. It's the like they literally tell you the plot. It's a monkey ball plot.
They're saying like it's too simple yet too complicated at the same time.
There's
not complicated in the sense that they can't follow it, but complicated in the way.
I promise you, there's nothing complicated about Wonder Woman 84. It's actually the most straightforward like comic movie. Like that's. Like, if that's what people's critiques is, then I can't help you. Like, at this point, it's like, well, you just
listening to different movies. Not like it was just interesting for me. Like, it's not me hopping on the bandwagon to also not like it, but it's like, okay.
Oh, actually, I'm not like thinking this is your opinion. I understand where you're coming from, and like, but like my whole thing is that like that's is comic book culture now, is to just shit on something the moment it comes out. Like, here's the thing, Cyberpunk, like, it had reason in terms of like what we like find things and complain about. Cyberpunk had many things that you can complain about and find a reason with. Wonder Woman, like, nothing. Like I can find I whenever I talk about Wonder Woman 1, I can say the CGI was bad, the third act was terrible. You can tell where Patty Jenkins was like was taken away from like giving her input to the writing. You see where Jeff Johns and all these other white dudes put their fingerprints on that movie, and it doesn't end up being as fun as it could have been, as it started out. And it's like Wonder Woman 80 from start to finish. It's like, yo, okay, Patty Jenkins this is Patty Jenkins' movie. Like, I think that's why I like it that much more, because it's like, y'all want to talk about a woman getting to like put her stamp on a comic book movie. This is it. It's not Wonder Woman. It's Wonder Woman 84. Like, I will defend, and like this is the hill I'm willing to die on, because like I did not have any interest in Wonder Woman 84. Whenever somebody asked at the comic book store about it, I tell them about like 8 Wonder Woman books I'm reading, as opposed to want to talk about that movie. Like, I even forgot it was coming out. So when I was like, oh, I ain't got shit to do, I had HBO Max, why not just see? And I was immediately blown away. And like, not just that, they actually gave her character, like, in terms of her being more heroic and finding more powers out, because she is of the 3 trinity of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. She actually leans more into like constantly learning about herself, where like Batman, Superman, like these all-powerful beings, like you don't really see them struggle except for like a brief moment. Whereas like Wonder Woman, you see that growth. Like, she learns to fly. She learns how to use her magical powers, like in this movie. And it's just like, oh, like, those are genuine superhero moments from comics that you're like, oh shit, that's dope. Like, I don't understand where people want to critique this movie when like I legitimately just was like, oh damn, they actually did that. Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's like, this is actually a fun DC ride. Like, this felt like me watching Shazam, because I got the same feeling when I watched Shazam of like, oh, this is just a fun DC movie. Like, yes, there are asshole like bad guys in this movie, but like, oh, it's still fun and it's ridiculous and it's goofy.
I think people just had high expectations from what Marvel has said, and then also if they are deep Wonder Woman fans.
And I get that, but also it's DC. Why are you putting Marvel movie expectations on DC?
I mean,
you've seen what those are. Like at this point, I can't buy that excuse. It's like you've seen
no, and I'm not
product
saying
DC puts out. Like, come on,
what they are using as their defense. I'm just saying what I'm observing is people probably subliminally trying to hold DC to the same standards as Marvel because
yes, listen, this is me putting my
see.
Dr. Umar hat. Listen, brothers and sisters, take off the Marvel glasses. Not everything has got to be done in a 3-arc narrative through 3 movies. Sometimes the bad guys live. Sometimes they not just live, they learn a lesson and they do better. That's not a wild concept. That's literally like Wonder Woman basically like saved the world with love. That would not happen in a Marvel movie. Like that would not happen in a Marvel movie. Somebody gotta die. You know what? Black Panther is it gets a B for me because that wild CGI and then you kill Killmonger.
You can't hear me?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, well, what's up?
Okay. Has it been 15 minutes? Because
we don't know.
We were waiting for Dad to come back, so
yeah, we're talking about Wonder Woman, and,
so
and I had to put on my comic book Umar hat and like
I heard it.
Tell everybody to like wake up. Had to like tell everybody to wake up.
Wake up!
Detoxify your third eye, brother.
Stop trying to make it make sense and just enjoy it. Do you realize that Wonder Woman is magic, literally?
Yeah. She grew up on a magic island. She was a small child jumping off of stuff.
Yes.
The small children are not strong enough to jump off.
One of her origins is she's made of clay, all right? Like
that's not her origin anymore?
I don't think it is.
Bring that up in the 3rd movie. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a 3rd movie. What's that?
Her black sister?
Probably.
If we get that, if we get
everybody get mad at that too.
Yeah, and then she'll get her own TV show on HBO Max or something. So here's what I'm gonna do since I couldn't get the break to work properly. Now it's still playing, but now no sound's coming out of the Firefox window, and I don't know how to fix that.
So does this mean we probably won't have trailers?
No, we'll have trailers. I say we just power through the show.
Oh, that's what we were doing.
Half an hour
While you were struggling with the music, we were just like...
Well, when I say power through the show, I mean not sit here for 2 hours and try to make conversation happen, but go through the segments and then end early. What'd you say, Ash?
I'm trying to make conversation happen. I can make a debate just happen.
Yeah, but do people want to listen to a conversation for 2 hours is the question.
People do it on NPR all the time. If we're good at discussing... You listen, I have high self-esteem. You bet your ass I'm as good as somebody on NPR. And I have energy. I don't talk like this all the time. So tell me about that new Trump stimulus package. What do you think?
We ain't got no goddamn.
I appreciate it.
Tell me more. You're welcome.
Could have had 600.
I'm give you the same love I got for you, Mike. You could do this.
Nikki says she wants the show with half an hour of filler. I don't know. If you all want to keep talking about Wonder Woman, I got to pee. Oscar and David, it's usually better than this. David, no.
Wow, this is pretty damn good if I don't say so myself. Anyway, guys, you should see Wonder Woman 84 if you haven't seen it yet. I'm not going to spoil it. I just think it's good.
Yeah, and props to you for not dropping any spoilers.
Listen, I work at a comic book store. It's my job to basically just entice you. It's to sell you the thing without giving away the thing. So I've done it long enough. It's a skill.
It was so wild. So I was out like working today, and we were planning to watch Wonder Woman 84, and then I get an email from Mike, and he's like, "Hey, so you're still going to be on the show?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am."
Well, I hope this has just kind of piqued your interest in terms of what.
Oh, dude! I mean, I'm a Blurd too. Like, I'm torn between both of your arguments. I want to see it just because it's a new movie, and it's comic book lore, and it has a lot of interesting themes that could pop up in further films that I would like to to stay abreast on. But ultimately, I think DC has dropped the ball for the last decade or so, and there needs to be some new blood that can revitalize this franchise. And it's a little difficult to do that because everything is so disjointed. And I mean, there's not as great as a following to DC as there is to Marvel.
DC did that to themselves with their movies.
They did.
Yeah.
Trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah,
but see, here's the thing. So now that we're on that story, okay, so I'm guessing you all saw Justice League Dark Apocalypse, right?
I hated it.
You hated it.
I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't see all of
it was amazing. I loved it.
What?
I mean, I understand why people liked it because it was violent. It was vulgar.
He loved it so much.
You loved it so much that you
just what? Well, I mean, like if you took something like that, or you took Flashpoint Paradox and you just had a build up, like that would make an amazing story arc. That would make something that's watchable.
I think that's what they're trying to do with the new Suicide Squad.
But like they're piecemealing things together, and we get stuck with the Justice League. You get a Batman versus Superman where they're like, we have character development for 3 others, and by the way, there's 3 other people. Anyway, let's get on to that story.
Also, all of them basically Batman. We took the symbol of peace and hope for the world and turned him into a broody Batman-esque character that couldn't save his dad. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was shit. Speaking of movies, you all want to do some trailer?
Yes, because I do want to talk about Coming to America. Coming to America has to be discussed. I feel like that's
without else.
Also, what's up, Kevin Fair? As a reminder, you are watching BlurdDotRadio. I am your host, Mike Stidham. I am joined by Ash and Kenny.
You need to
that's dope.
And our very special guest for this evening, Tony Dark, aka David.
This episode.
Greatest episode ever.
Hey, man, that's the greatest helmet you'll ever see.
We got 2 trailers for you here tonight. The first is Denzel Washington's next project. He went from playing a criminal. Well, first he went from playing like a lawyer to a criminal. Now it seems like he's taken his criminal part and making it a little darker. He's playing opposite the Joker. Mind you, I said that as an inflammatory term, for anybody out there that forgot that Jared Leto was the Joker. The movie is called. What's the movie? Hold on. The Little Things. Let's check it out.
You know him, didn't you? Then you had that one little feeling. But you waved it away. You should have listened to that one little feeling. Just like I'm listening to you now. You can talk to me. I'm all a friend you got.
You're not exactly a department favorite. Things probably changed a lot since you left.
You still got to catch him, right?
Yeah.
Not that much has changed then, right?
I can assure you all we are taking a 24/7 all-hands-on-deck approach to these cases.
Guy's a shark. If he stops, he dies. He likes to drive. Probably has a decent car, maybe 2, high mileage.
You must really like my car.
I do. How's the trunk space?
Something I gotta know. How's a guy with the best clearance rate in the department work 15 years without a promotion?
That's a fact. The rest of you can unmute if you want to.
When I look at
running commentary is good on the trailer.
It ain't good.
They're dying.
He knew all the details, but he wasn't within 10 miles.
Why does Jared Leto almost look like the same person as every movie?
I don't know. I'll tell you, he's good at playing the creeper.
Yeah.
Done it enough times. I like that part.
How's the trunk space?
Shoot you through this door.
What do you want?
I want to nail the bastard.
For who?
For all of the girls he killed.
That's what's his name?
I want to nail
Rami?
Now I'm interested. I like Rami Malek.
He also looks like he could play a good creepy guy if he wanted to.
He did in the Legend of Korra.
little things, Jimmy.
Did he?
Some
I didn't know he was in the
little
Legend.
things
Mr. Roboty's pretty
I feel like he's not like high level creepy in this one. Mind you, I've only seen some Mr. Robot here and there.
Well, he's gonna be in the new. He's the villain in the new Bond film.
Yeah, he is.
If that ever comes out,
I'm gonna see. Yeah.
MGM is selling their everything. So, folks at home, is that just gonna stay up, that black screen? I have to click that off physically. Cool.
Yeah.
January 29th, 2021. The little things will be released. I hope it will be released somewhere other than theaters because we're in full blown pandemic.
HBO Max.
Okay, good. I am interested. I don't think I've ever seen Denzel play a part like this, and I have confidence in Denzel playing new parts. I will say I did not like Roman Israel Esquire. Not to spoil the end, but I'm tired of seeing Denzel in those endings. I just didn't think the movie was all that good. But this one looks exciting. Kenny, what do you think of this?
I'm kind of in your camp. I'm excited. At first, I really kind of wasn't. I don't know. I think in terms of films lately, I've kind of just I don't know what I've been wanting, but this looks interesting. So, and Rami Malek is one of my favorite actors. I don't see enough of his films. So the fact that he's in it also piques my interest as well. So
my opinion on Rami Malek is that he looks like Kel's dad from Kenan and Kel, and I really thought like maybe that's his son. He's not. He's not. Just throwing that out there.
I don't have anything else. I can't follow that. I've got nothing.
He does. He genuinely does.
I got nothing else after that. I mean, I'm just genuinely interested in this movie, so I'll definitely check it out whenever it comes out.
Okay. Ash, what you got?
I wouldn't say I'm excited, but I do like that it's a psychological thriller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm on the wiki now, and apparently Steven Spielberg was going to direct it back in 1993. But it was too dark.
And then he did Super 8? I don't know.
And then Clint Eastwood and Danny DeVito were attached to direct.
Is this movie based on is this based on a book or something?
If it was from the 90s, there's a solid chance that it was.
Not that I'm seeing.
Oh, it just took for it forever to get made. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I'm actually curious to see what this would have looked like by Clint Eastwood or Danny DeVito. Because I mean,
it would have been a little racist if Clint Eastwood would have done it.
Yeah, and Danny DeVito
a lot racist.
Madeline, not Madeline. What's it called?
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Oh yeah,
he directed Matilda. So it could have been maybe a little whimsical, or it could have been racist.
Maybe a little of both. Why not both?
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, psychological thriller, slow burn. Why not? HBO Max, I got it.
All right, so you'll probably end up watching this one.
If I remember.
Okay. David Jones, how do you feel about this?
It's not at the top of my list, but I also checked out the wiki now, and it's passed through a lot of hands. So that means that there's definitely a lot of studio involvement, which means it's going to be diluted from its original format. I mean, if I remember to check it out, I will. I guess the first thing that came to my mind, which is kind of funny, is the way Rami Malek talks. It's like he wants to have a French accent, but he speaks English. So I thought that was kind of funny.
I believe they're supposed to be in Louisiana.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, LASD detective.
So it's like a kind of Creole thing or Cajun thing, or
yeah. I think that's what they're
I think it just normally talks like that though.
Oh, like in real life.
Yeah. I mean, it seems interesting. I guess we haven't seen a whole lot of dark, psychological thrillers this year. For obvious reasons, but
it's 2020 that's psychological thriller.
We haven't seen much.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, and not to deviate off course, but I was really pissed that the new season of Black Mirror didn't come out, and I was in Miami, and I drove past a bus stop, and there was literally just a mirror, and it says, "You're living Black Mirror right now," or something to that effect.
Nice.
Yeah, so, like literally everything that could have happened in one season is happening to us right now.
Oh dear Lord, that's true.
Yeah, but no, I think I'll check it out if I remember to.
Okay. Oscar, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like an interesting movie. I haven't really watched movies this past year, and probably won't watch many next year either. David has us over here working like crazy. But,
you got to put movies in the break room or something.
For real. It definitely looks interesting, and maybe we'll check it out with David when it comes out.
Okay.
Yeah, and maybe David will have some critique of the music that was created for it.
Oh, dude, I like the music. The music was it was reminiscent of what was that movie, Tales from the Hood, with that creepy violin? Do you remember that? Oh my god, that's what it reminded me of.
I'll say my little final piece on it. I think one of the things that excites me about this movie is that it's not a superhero movie or an action movie. I'm not experiencing a lot of superhero fatigue, but there hasn't been much room for other genres of movies. So I think this will be good. And it reminds me a little bit of True Detective. That was on the tip of my tongue. When I read LASD, I was like, there it is. A murderer out in the weeds that nobody can catch. The first season of True Detective, not the other two. So yeah.
You know what would be funny? What if they dropped in a Morbius Easter egg?
Talks about having suckers on his hands or some shit like that.
I need plasma.
Shout out to Morbius, who I'm sure will end up in Spider-Man 3 or Doctor Strange. Those weird Marvel orgy movies. So folks, The Little Things, January 29th. 2021. The next trailer we're talking about, let me hit the trailer button. I did make one of those. Here we go. Maybe I'll save my thoughts. It was getting a lot of hype.
Don't
Eddie
save
Murphy.
your thoughts. Let him out.
Well, I'll show
after
the trailer.
After the trailer,
Eddie Murphy. What'd you say?
We're doing this trailer without Mom.
Yes, without he's in the comments somewhere between trips to the bathroom. I'm sure he'll have something to say. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, and all the characters you loved from Coming to America are coming back to small screen.
Are coming to America.
Hey.
Yeah.
Coming to America 2. Coming to Amazon Prime. Let's check out the trailer.
You must heed my words before I'm gone, my son. Now, you will be king. But the throne must pass to a male heir. Hakim, it appears you have a son who must
We found it.
Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America.
Oh, hell no, Your Majesty.
Come on. I'm back. Say it again. Feel right in this mother. Feel good in this mother. My whole hood in this mother. Come on.
I'm the king of this shop.
That's funny in hell.
Well. Say it again. It is so good to see you.
Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola.
Famine and Blood Diamond.
Nelson Mandela and Winnie.
Those hungry babies with the flies on their face.
Hey, that's too much now. You stepped over the line. Now, we won't be talking that kind of shit about the hungry babies. You're going to have to get out of my chair.
Politically incorrect.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda?
They should be dead. They should all be dead. They should all be dead.
You know, black people live a long time, especially black people who were born before like the 70s.
They are black barbers and they are black in Harlem. They are black barbers in Harlem. They don't have health insurance. They dead. Okay, come on now.
All those people are probably from somewhere in Arkansas. And people from Arkansas live to be well over 100. I don't know what's in the water out there.
But they are. Mike, are they in Arkansas, Mike?
You can move out of Arkansas and still live a long time. It's a thing. Migration was a thing.
Listen, don't, Mike, don't.
You guys have obviously never visited those bodegas, okay? There's magic that comes out of those things. They don't just have stale bread, okay? There's a reason why people commune around there.
And somehow that empowers them.
So not only do the bodegas keep the food fresh forever, but the people as well?
They're filled with preservatives.
Mm-hmm. So what you're saying is we all need to live in bodegas.
Facts.
And be immortal.
Or near one.
That's the lesson for the evening. We should all live near bodegas.
It's the radiation that those bodegas emanate.
7-Eleven down the street from me does not do the job.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it, man. It can't even have a name. It just has to have some stereotypical Hispanic name, and you just be a drug front. That's what it is.
Drugs keep you alive. That's not true. Even though I'll tell you this, crack does not kill. There are plenty of crackheads back where I'm from that have been there for like the past 40 years. So number one, I'm scared. I don't know if this was a good idea. Making sequels after 30 years has not played out well in any movie in the front of my mind. I don't know. I'm sure if I thought about it for long enough, I could think of something. There are already things that they're gonna have to explain, like why, they've been in Zamunda for the past 30 years. They didn't have a son in Zamunda.
And why is it an issue now if Eddie is technically next in line to be king and his dad's dying, so now he's king? So why do we fear that he might have a son in America? It's not a pressing issue.
Yeah, I don't know.
Unless Eddie doesn't want to be king and his dad's like, okay, well then you need to find a relative to take over.
I'm confident that the son, well, I don't know. They haven't gotten into the drama between Eddie and the kid that he didn't raise for whatever reason. I will say this. I hope that there are Black Panther jokes made throughout, because remember, that's kind of the theme of Killmonger. Is
no,
your father's from this great African nation that you've never been to. Why didn't you take the boy? He already has a daughter in Zamunda. It's Kiki. Oh, is that what it is? Is that why Kiki is in this movie? Also, the presence of Wesley Snipes does not make me believe this is going to be good.
Hey, listen, what is that dude? Don't do that to Wesley.
He was that dude. What was the last good thing he did?
Was go to jail for not paying taxes because the government's trash. And was he right? Yup. It was Wesley Snipes right about the government.
All the post Blade 2 movies you know, if you want to know what Wesley did in that in between time between jail in this movie, they're all on Tubi. So
they're all on Tubi.
if you want to know how
I'm gonna watch them.
These movies are, they're on Tubi.
I'm planning on watching all of them. Hey, don't be hate, Mike. I feel like there's some judgmental tones in your voice, Wesley.
Yeah,
and I need you to bring that down. Okay,
listen,
that's
here's why you can't tell
Nino
me about,
Brown forever. Okay,
here's why you
Don't
can't
do
tell me
that.
about Wesley Snipes. He retweeted at me once because somebody made fun of him, and Wesley said something back to him, and I wrote, "Show him the fangs, Wesley." And
wait,
he
time out.
liked.
Did you just hit me with that? You can't tell me anything about Wesley Snipes because he tweeted he liked a tweet?
Yes. Also, let me throw this at you. I enjoyed Demolition Man far before you did. All right, I am seasoned in Nino Brown, Simon Phoenix.
Wait, we're like you're only slightly older than me. We probably like it as much as each other. I have a whole ass pen with Simon that says Simon Says. Like, why are we comparing? We don't have to compare.
I was in the future eating Taco
Mike, we don't have to compare. We can both love things equally. I just like Wesley Snipes.
No, because you just came at me about Wesley. Let me tell you. Have you watched any of those?
I wasn't coming at you about
Have you
I'm just
seen
saying.
them? I have.
Yeah, I've seen some of them. I know. They're rough. They're rough.
No way, it wasn't Fast and the
Wesley got to
Furious.
eat too. Okay, Wesley got to get. He got bills to pay.
That brings me to my positive point about Coming to America 2. Eddie's got a lot of kids. So he's got to make some money off of something. I don't know. I hope it's good, but that flame of hope is not high. Kenny, what are your thoughts here?
Until this trailer, I was looking forward to it, and then this trailer snapped me back to like my perspective self, and it's like, damn, we can't be doing sequels 30 years after the fact, because this just feels like the same movie, but like in 4K. It's just everything in 4K with the new jokes, and it's just like, don't Star Wars Coming to America, if that makes sense.
That's
like,
a quotable for the show tonight.
Like, but does that make? I guess that makes sense, though, right? Like you don't have to do this. Like you don't have to do this.
We can leave this alone.
You can leave this alone. Like I think a lot of black films you would never do what's the Richard Pryor Eddie Murphy film Harlem Nights? You would never redo Harlem Nights.
Don't say never.
Don't but you shouldn't, because that cast makes that movie. That cast is that movie. Like Coming to America is good because of that period in time. Those actors all those black actors and actresses were on the way up. Like you saw a lot of what they could be in their futures. Coming to America.
Marcel Bouvier's first role.
Yes, it was. Like, and she has not aged a damn day. Mwah.
She never will.
Never will. Good for her.
Yeah,
but
she's gonna be fine as fuck forever.
Yeah, like it's just it's not needed. And that's the thing. Like I don't want to be exceptionally critical of this film, because a lot of actors and actresses I love are in this. But they could have said no. Like, y'all could have said no.
They could have made a new movie.
You could have made it a movie. Thank you. Thank you.
I think that's the thing about Coming to America is it was so brand new when it came out.
Yes, exactly. Like Mikey beat me to it. Because what do I say on this show every time we talk about trailers like this? Just do something new. Just give me a new black movie. And I can't even, and that's part of the reason I can't be too mad, because this is a black movie, but also it's like,
and it is giving young black talent a chance.
Yes. Like I can't deny what it's going to do for future like black folks who are in it, but it's Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall.
Well, that's
so you still got to wade through all that to get to the new young talent. And honestly, for asking myself, am I going to sit through that to do so when I can't say I want to, or that I will?
Well,
Like, I may pass this up.
Yeah.
Have we been on Kenny's take this whole time?
I'm done. Actually, I'm out.
Jesus,
I'm,
No, I'm just wondering. I had to step away from my charger for a minute. I'm not sure how long this has been going on.
no, I just finished.
What do you think?
Perfect
of this
timing.
one?
I just have questions about the plot.
They didn't reveal much.
Yeah,
I mean, from what they have revealed, it sounds stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have thought it would be more compelling that on his deathbed, King Mufasa is like, so you have a secret brother in America, and technically you're not next in line.
Mm-hmm. That would have been a lot more interesting.
Now that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Right, and now he has to go back to America and convince his American-born and raised brother to come back to Africa, and he's like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be interesting. Anyway, other than that, I just want to know why Teyana Taylor has a Uzi in the trailer.
Oh, that's right.
The African warlord stereotype is immediately what I shot towards.
I didn't even think about that. I thought she
Also,
was
that seems real insensitive to put in the movie right now.
Well,
Like,
even whatever is going on in Zumanda, whoever that country's called, whatever, whatever's going on over there seems more interesting than go find your bastard son in America.
I wish they'd afraid to go find your bastard son.
Right, like the appeal of like the fish out of water thing is kind of gone.
Completely,
yeah.
So
absolutely.
I'm hoping that the majority of the movie will actually be in Zumanda. Zabumafu, whatever.
Mm-hmm. So all our African listeners, it's not real anyway. We're not making fun of you.
Jumanji, I want to see what's going on over there. Just like with Wakanda.
I mean, Eddie Murphy did say that you're going to see a lot more Zamunda. In his opinion, we need Zamunda right now. Eddie Murphy also made Pluto Nash.
Look, he's trying to have us get that.
Yeah.
You bring up these random movies. Pluto Nash is ages ago. He just did Dolomite.
He's done movies in between too. Him and Wesley have both had a bunch of failed movies.
But they've had good ones.
But dude, every actor has failed movies.
No, they have a lot though. Like they hit a wall in their career.
I think we need to have a discussion about how black actors and actresses don't get the same chances to fail up like their white counterparts.
Mm-hmm.
So black actors have to do movies like the ones you could constantly shit on, which I will agree aren't good, but they ain't getting cast for anything good when white person is getting everything else. So
look at
it would seem that
what's
this
his
is
name?
their chance of redemption, and that's another worrying thing for me. I'm sure the movie's gonna make money, but will it be good? It will. This is definitely the same way that Wonder Woman is getting all this press. The only woman he had sex with was his wife's sister. Yeah, DJ LO Kari is in the chat reminding us. I want to say when they were talking about writing this movie, his bastard son is the child. His mother is the sister of his wife that jerked him off at a basketball game.
What she do? Save his sperm for 30 years and only now inseminated herself?
I don't know. What I think the plot twist is going to be is somehow that's Arsenio Hall's kid. Because remember, Arsenio Hall definitely took advantage of her trying to take advantage of that money.
And she seemed like the type to lie about the paternity of a child.
Yeah. I wonder if Mel B will have anything to say about this, seeing as how her and Eddie Murphy have a kid. And I don't know if Eddie Murphy takes care of that kid. Fun little thing for our listeners, the 6 of them that there are.
Yeah, and for those who don't know who Mel B is, that is Scary Spice.
It is Scary Spice.
Which, that's a whole issue in itself. Why the black girl got to be the scary one? Why couldn't she just Dr. Spice?
Well, racism is everywhere, including Britain.
Actual Spice.
David and Oscar, we haven't gotten to you all yet. David, how do you feel about this one?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of the words were taken out of my mouth. You know, we've seen this fish out of water scenario play out over and over again. It's a little overdone.
Yeah.
But I will say, from another standpoint, that this is basically escapism, and we need some escapism in 2020. We don't need to have, an oversaturation of superhero movies or psychological thrillers. Let's just, let's take our brains off for a second and have fun, and take it back to when did this movie come out? Like 1988 or something like that.
Before I was
I think it was like 87, 88. Yeah, so like when I was just a wee babe. But we're basically watching, this 15, 20, 30 year media cycle play out in front of our eyes. We're getting a chance to re-enjoy the things that our parents did or that we did, in our earlier years. So
1988.
Yeah. Okay. So I think that it looks interesting. I'd be willing to give it a shot. If I have time, of course. But it sucks because they could have taken this plot in so many directions, but instead they stuck to the KISS formula, and we're just basically watching a reboot. It could have been something really unique, like Ash said, and why don't we see more of Zamunda? There's far more interesting things happening overseas than what we're seeing right now. But this is American cinema at its finest, right? Like let's take something that was successful and process the hell out of it.
It's been 30 years. They won't remember.
1988. Yeah.
America's not good at coming up with new ideas.
But here's the thing. So this is what came to mind. And instead of like rebooting good movies, why don't you reboot bad movies?
Yeah.
Like things that could have been great. Like, Toxic Avengers could have been great. Or I just watched I just watched Blade Runner 2049 for the first time, and that was actually, pretty decent. But I mean, all right, I see the face. I see the sweet face.
It was a very lonely movie to watch.
But
scenes with one person.
Yeah, but I mean, not to get off course or anything, but I'm interested. I'll watch it just to get a quick laugh if I have time.
Yeah. Oscar, how do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to break away, as David said, from the thrillers and the action movies, and just be able to sit down and just watch a casual movie, right? Like, many of us didn't watch the original one, right? Especially me, that movie came out when I was, I wasn't even born, right? That was 8 years before I was born. So I have like a fresh take on it, and I can just go in there and just enjoy the movie without having any previous knowledge of it. Yeah. And it is a casual movie, right? So you won't be feeling all, whatever anxiety 2020 already provoked for a lot of people. You can just go in there and just relax for that hour and a half or however long the movie's going to be. So, I'm excited to see what it turns out to be.
Okay. I'll say I'm looking at the IMDb. A few positive points. We will get to see where Louis Anderson's character, if he ever became manager and made the big bucks.
I was just dying 30 years waiting to know that. I just gotta know.
Wait. Is Samuel L. Jackson gonna come back? That's a good question.
I sincerely.
Please, God.
They run across like Samuel L. Jackson.
As long as he's still hawking a Capital One card, he can only be in that movie if he's hawking a Capital One card.
I want to see him turn his life around and work in the barbershop or something. That's what.
Or he's now the manager of the McDonald's he tried to rob.
Whack Arnold's. Was it Whack Arnold's?
Whack Arnold's, yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. McDonald's has the golden arches. We got the golden M's. Yeah. John Amos is in the movie.
I always think he's dead. I don't know why.
That's because he's been old since the
for like ever. Yeah, he's been old since Good Times. Like he's been old since Good Times.
That's America's dad right there. Like he's been a dad. I don't know if he's ever looked young. People talk about Morgan Freeman. I've seen young Morgan Freeman, and he was in a movie where he played a pimp with somebody that was really uncharacteristic for a Morgan Freeman movie. It was Clark Kent, the original Clark Kent. What's his name? Christopher Reeve. Him and Morgan Freeman were in the movie together. Morgan Freeman was on a 80s episode of a revamp of The Twilight Zone that was shit. But John Amos is really and truly, since the 70s, he's never been young. Like, we've never seen what this guy looks like in his early 20s. And I really have a hard time picturing it. But he's in the movie. Rick Ross is playing himself.
Elgin definitely is the best thing. The only reason I watch that movie is if the Soul Gold family is bald. Like, Elgin, that would be the only reason I would watch is to see if they were bald, Elgin. Yes.
Yo, I really hope that they go to their house and they're just like old grease stains on everything.
Oh, bro.
It would be great. It would be great.
What if the Prince of Soul Glow gets a shot at redemption again? You know, he was such a jerk in the first movie. Like,
it ends
this
up being
is a chance for him. Yeah.
I would love to see that happen. I guess revisiting looking at the IMDb page and revisiting some of my memories, maybe there's a chance that there will at least be some callbacks that are funny. But the plot of the movie, as Ash said, huge holes. Mind you, we've only seen the trailer. Who knows what else is going to be coming out of this?
It could be a huge misdirect.
It could. I'll throw this out there. I think Leslie Jones is going to be his son's mom because she's in there as somebody's mother.
She looks like a mom or an auntie.
Yeah. No.
What if there was a plot twist? Sorry, go ahead.
No, he needs to be in ass all the way. Though he went natural now. He started putting juices and berries in his hair instead of Soul Glow. Be good. David,
what if the plot twist? What if the plot twist was if the grandma he gave those earrings to turned out to be the mom?
Like I was lonely and poor. All right, don't judge me. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many callbacks are in this movie, and I'm expecting it to be a callback movie. They at least showed us that. If Randy Watson is coming back, there will be a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, a lot of that.
Yeah, it'll lean heavily on the first one. So that is our trailer segment. So when I said we should probably just roll through the show since we don't have music breaks, you all want to go into the headlines?
Sure.
I did not make a headline still.
That was my headline. I did it.
Hey,
news.
I made this one.
Wow, you just totally shitted on my headline noise. It's cool.
You just gonna steal from the show?
Yes. I mean, I steal from Dragon Ball and all types of other stuff. It's a composite show. It's not stealing. Our headlines for this evening. DJ LO Kari wrote headlines in all caps. Thank you. So Cyberpunk pretty universally panned, right? From what I'm hearing, CD Projekt usually makes PC games. Shout out to Sam One. He told me he was surprised they even tried to make a platforming game. Apparently, they made enough people upset that a class action lawsuit has been filed against them.
You didn't even get to the other wild part is that Sony and Microsoft are actually giving refunds. Like to get Sony and Microsoft to give refunds, like that's how bad. That's next level bad.
It seems strange. And I'll ask you all what you think about this. Is it because so many games have failed at launch? Like, is this a buildup, or was it really that big a deal for them to give refunds? There's a class action lawsuit. This seems like more than, you spend your $60. Yes, you're disappointed. You get your $60 back and you still sue. That seems a little.
No,
the game wasn't
suing is
complete.
More so on the part of the investor.
Say that again, Ash.
The class action lawsuit is more so the investors.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who put in money for this to even be made, expecting returns, are suing because they didn't deliver on the product that they said they were going to be, banking on.
I believe, and I'm pulling up the article now. I believe in the end of this article, they say that they did make their goal. They made a fuck ton of money. I'll have the actual.
But they got to recalibrate.
They got to recalibrate. Yeah, the refunds, and that's the other thing too. Is like the game. If you had a PS4 or Xbox 3, whatever the one, the game ran terribly. And my brother has it. My brother has it for the PS5. He already says it's crashed a couple times. Now my other buddy who likes it, he said he's had issues as well. Like I watched him play it on Twitch, and just the way I don't know if the frame rate was dropping or what, but like I couldn't see what he was shooting at. Like who was shooting at him? Like it seems like for all the hype around that game.
Oh yeah, it was hella hype.
All the delays.
Delays. Like
well, then that brings up the question: whose fault is it? Is it the
clearly someone on the
consumer
higher
who
up
demanded that this come out and stop being delayed, and then it comes out early, and
So it was someone higher up in the chain, clearly, because developers will try to prolong as long as they can so that their product's actually up to standard. But it's the people who are trying to get those holiday bonuses and everything that are going to try to push it before it's done. But then when these specs and whatnot, and people are trying to tell them it's going to take time to make it work on all these different platforms, but they ain't trying to hear it.
David, what do you have to say?
I mean, it's truly just this is a cautionary tale that, society has been given far too much power. These developers were hit with death threats because they didn't get the game out on time. And then when the game does come out, it's full of bugs because proper QA and QC was not executed. And then on top of that, the consumers, when they get this refund, are pissed that they actually get the game taken away. Did you read that article?
No,
people were mad that they got shocked because that the game was taken back.
You returned it. What did you think was going to happen?
Right. So from a software standpoint, there's a game is a platform, is an infrastructure, it's a framework of incredibly complex systems. I mean, all sorts of things are happening underneath the hood that the consumer doesn't even that couldn't begin to understand. And furthermore, when you make it cross-platform, now you're dealing with a situation of all sorts of interacting stimuli from different programming languages, from different development environments, and so forth. You can't rush art. Like that's really what what we beckon to realize, or that the public should realize, I should say.
Absolutely, David. I think that's part of a bigger issue in terms of video game culture and how toxic it is from from a marketing perspective, in terms of like who gets the games first, and then like the whole tech crunch. Like reading into that is just terrifying. Like, why would you ever want to work in video games when you aren't even given a chance to properly rest to make the game? I definitely believe there is so many facets that can be blamed here, and that it kind of is on the consumer if we really need to look at it. It's that need for something every quarter, some of it's I think the consumers and the marketers, because that marketing, and I think in some of the articles I've read, that marketing had no clue as to the issues, or they did know and they didn't really pay attention to them. So once again, how do you as a marketer, if you see that there are problems and you know that maybe they would benefit from time to finish this, it's a lot of corporate greed there as well. It just no one benefits at the end. This is that, like you said, this is a cautionary tale of I'm surprised this doesn't happen more often, to be honest, because a lot of video games.
Remember it happened with No Man's Sky. It happened a few times.
Happened with No Man's
Sky. No Man's Sky is. Well, we were just talking about that, but No Man's Sky didn't get nobody had sued for No Man's Sky.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Is this an escalation?
Oh no, that's an escalation, absolutely. But
From an internal standpoint, you know, I think that this failure sets a benchmark in how we need to approach just the consumerism behind video games and other art forms. You know, let the developers do their job. Let these creators do their job so they can give you something that's masterful, that's not going to fail the moment you turn it on. And you know, furthermore, you know, from like you said, you know, from a marketing standpoint, this is what happens when the hand doesn't talk to the foot. If marketing does not understand what is going on, you know, behind the scenes, and they're just trying to put it in a fucking package, what do you think's going to happen?
Yes.
I wonder what Keanu Reeves thinks of all this, because I haven't heard him mention.
Yeah, he got paid. He fine.
Like,
Keanu's role in the video game is actually, like, from everybody who likes the game, his role is actually well done. Apparently, like I've heard no complaints about it.
This story itself is based on a tabletop game
from
that is like
invented by Black
years in the making. So the story was there, the lore and everything was there. They just had to digitize it. So story is fine. It's just the execution that got shoddy across the board. Because even people on PC are starting to find that like their game saves are crashing after it hits a certain load amount. It's just a mess because again, the higher ups are just concentrated more on end results of money, not so much the product itself. Because if you look at games that have like not as much public hype, and so they're able to just kind of chug along at their own pace. And then they come out and people are like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is
Control,
great.
being a prime example.
Control. Well, Control had his own issue later on with the whole re-release. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But I'm thinking more so like Hades. That was a few years in the making. And it was a combination of all their previous games in terms of like gameplay, storytelling, and stuff like that they all melded together into Hades, and that took time.
I mean, I think you know, to bring it up again, No Man's Sky in its current state is a good example of like, we promised X, we released it too soon, and now you can do all the space battle.
Well, even Fallout 76, like they didn't even have NPCs. Like they had to they literally had to insert a whole story and NPCs because they released the game with neither one. So and even Avengers, which has solid gameplay, but why is it a live? Why is it a live service game? Like Avengers should have never been a live service game, and they delayed it for what exactly?
They trying to make money. That's all it is.
They lost 95% of the players. Yeah.
DJ LO Kari, of course, did say I need a refund for Avengers.
Of course.
I mean, it's boring, but apparently it plays.
Oh, it's fun. Like that's the thing. It's boring, but like
it seems like it's
you don't realize it's boring. The ability to be Captain America and like properly shield throw is incredible. It's the dopest thing. Like every character actually has the like powers and all their whole stuff from comic books. So like that's the most disappointing part. Is like there's a clear framework. There's a solid base for you to work from, and then you just did that. You did that. You did that.
So I hope that. Well, Oscar, you haven't said anything about it. I don't want to leave you out.
Yeah, no, it's. I think it just goes back to people not valuing developers, right? And I think that's something that David and I have witnessed firsthand as we is what we do. And yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where developers are underappreciated. You know, things can be a lot harder than some people think. And you know, especially when you're creating such a game like Cyberpunk, right? It's very complex, right? I mean, the complexity of building out a mobile application is already hard enough, right? I couldn't imagine what it would be like to create a cross-platform game that will play over all these platforms, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, PC, and I know there's one I'm forgetting, the Stadia, the Google one.
I forgot that was the thing. If you just said Stadia to me, I would have thought it was artificial sugar. I forgot.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredibly hard, and I do think it just kind of came down to developers not being given the proper amount of time to execute it properly. Who made the final decision? Who knows, right? We don't know that information, but I'm sure the developers aren't happy with what they were forced to present as a product.
Do you all feel like this is going to be, because again, I mentioned these games that have gotten better later. Do you all feel like this franchise is going to be dead in the water? Do you feel like fans are, maybe I shouldn't use the word fickle, but forgiving enough that this will get another chance? Because they were slated to re-release it. I don't know if that's still the case. Do you think people are going to go for it once they put it back out?
I think so.
Well, I mean, this is Web 2.0. The good thing about forgiveness with this generation is like you're not releasing a disc or a cartridge. Anything, updates happen all the time to games, and sometimes they're undesirable, sometimes they're unfavorable, but sometimes they're amazing. And I think that the consumer now is just caught between this Venn diagram of wanting things without understanding how things work. And this is there's no real remedy to this, because we live in a fast food kind of revolving door system where we expect brand new amazing content, amazing things every quarter, and if we don't get them, then we riot. But on the same token, it's like we don't care how it works, just as long as it fulfills a need. I don't care what's in it. I don't care what it's doing to me. Give it to me now, and then give me another one when I want another one. I hope it improves. I'm glad I did not buy it at launch.
I definitely think that there's a second life for this game. So give it another year.
I hope so. Our second headline, not quite as enthralling, in my opinion. MGM explores the sale of its studio. MGM is host to Rocky, The Hobbit, The Handmaid's Tale, Vikings, which I've never watched, Dune, The Matrix 4, Creed.
How do all these movies? How do these companies fail? That's the thing that I fail to understand when you're $1 billion company and like you get all these wild tax breaks like wherever you are. So like this, I'm gonna be quite honest. This shit don't move me. Like, I'm so like, Paul, what was you $1 billion movie corporation? Like,
right. It's not like we're not gonna be able to see these movies anymore.
Like that's the thing. Somebody's gonna buy this up like tomorrow. Like this is, and I think that's the unfortunate part of like how businesses run lately. It's just like, like you see in terms of like how the government's trying to clamp down on companies trying to like just basically like buy without like letting an actual market of competition grow, which needs to happen, which is part of the issue that I think David kind of hinted at in terms of our fast food market. Everybody wants everything so fast. It's like, no, let the sauce kind of marinate. Like, same thing with like, MGM's losing these like is okay. So like, I bet those movies will all end up either on Tubi because they're gonna be bought by somebody else. No, like you know what I'm saying? Like they're still gonna end up in a streaming service. They're still gonna end up somewhere. Like I headlines like this, you know what I'm saying? Like as we are infotainment as well. It's just like these companies, even in a pandemic, you shouldn't be failing. Like I have no sympathy for you. It sounds like y'all just
getting bailed out.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Ashley. That's the other part I wasn't gonna bring up. Was like, oh, by the way, y'all get bailouts. So
they'll be fine.
What?
Well, here's the thing, though. So, I mean, in regard to the business aspect of what's happening, MGM has a $5 billion valuation. That doesn't mean they have $5 billion in the bank, and that's probably something that the public is not privy to. These companies come out every year, go live on Wall Street and have billion-dollar valuations. It doesn't mean that the founder is a billionaire. And trust me, I know this, from personal experience. But the thing is, when these companies put their streaming products onto the market, they still have a number of royalties, perpetuities, all sorts of back-end mechanical things that have to happen, that have to be paid out before the company can actually eke out a profit. So sometimes those profits are razor thin. You have these humongous companies like MGM. Like, so you said Lord of the Rings, right, Mike? Okay, so Lord of the Rings. Think about the production budget on that alone. Think about all of the insane, the salaries of the actors and so forth. Like, these people have to get royalties forever. And this is across the board. So that's why these companies fail, is because people don't realize that evaluation doesn't mean they don't have that in the bank. And before they can reach profitability, people got to be paid. You got to put that corn first.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I mean, and also, just the precariousness of the entertainment industry, specifically music and film. People pirate stuff all the time.
It's a fact.
And I mean, it's like it's impossible. It's impossible to circumvent that at this day and age. And I think that what's his name? Who's the founder of Napster? I just forgot his name that quickly.
When John Collin popped into my head, that's not it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, but
can't remember it.
When they let that genie out of the bottle, you can't put it back in.
Yeah.
His name is Sean Parker. That's his name.
I learned.
I don't know. As much merch as I sell of like things like Lord of the Rings and all these MGM properties, I still don't like. I get what you're saying. I absolutely understand what you're saying, but like, there is a lot of outgoing merchandise that I would think covers a lot of those, because like that's what I just can't see in an entire year of loss doing this much hurt. I think, wow. So y'all was just that razor thin, huh? I think
here's the thing.
I guess it's exploiting just how fickle, or not fickle, but like how unstable filmmaking and film production actually is.
I'll say real quick, the reason that I put this in the rundown wasn't to elicit some sympathy. It was this pandemic is something that was so unplanned for that all it takes is, and mind you, when I say all it takes, theaters are really important for movies, right? But theaters close and people can't pivot to whatever streaming platform is out there. And I think one of the things that this shows is that the way that movies are funded and the way that they're managed is changing a lot.
That's true. Well,
that means that there's going to be some new person taking the spot that they were in.
No, I think in terms of Hollywood, it's just like Hollywood's been for a long time looking for the cheapest way to like make a buck, and while also overspending, and this is just the chickens coming home to roost. Like how like a pandemic of essentially, we haven't hit March yet, so we're 10 months into a pandemic. We're not even a full year into a pandemic.
Yeah,
and your profit margins are so razor thin that everything's closing. That's a problem that lies therein with the companies themselves. And I think that should be the bigger discussion, because that's kind of the same thing about how Toys R Us went bankrupt. It wasn't because Toys R Us wasn't making any money. It's because the people who invested in it were doing all these other side illicit things that took away the money to fund Toys R Us. So like, I don't feel like we're that far away from seeing and hearing more of that when it comes to why movies are like, why are movies still being made in a pandemic? Like the amount of things that are happening that have just exposed the unseediness within entertainment. It makes me like not want to enjoy anything. And like watching sports is a chore. Watching anything, like even watching Wonder Woman was like a chore because it just the idea of like, man, people really like were trying to make this movie.
At this point, we know how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
So you look at the sausage.
I mean, you also have to look at the time frame of these films. A lot of these weren't made in the pandemic; they've been being made for years. I think it probably took at least 2.5 years for the new Wonder Woman films to come out, and they just happened to have a slate of December 25th, for instance. They can't really control those. That's why Marvel has been trying to shuffle things around and has pushed their entire catalog back an entire year. Like everything.
I actually think Marvel, and when I say that someone's going to take their place, I think that Marvel and Disney and everybody that Disney has acquired, and I forgot who's over Disney, they've done an interesting job of what MGM didn't do, which was reshuffle, which is pivot. Like, okay, everything's shut down. Good. We already had these shows coming out. We're going to focus on these shows that are going to streaming services. We're going to shut down movie production for a while. If they're shutting down movie production, we're going to push these dates back and we'll make it.
And I guess the law of business and life in general is adapt or die.
Yeah.
You have these companies, and I'm sorry, Sassy Black Nerd. I don't even know your name. What's your name?
Kenny.
Kenny. Kenny. Okay, yeah. Kenny. Nice to meet you, Kenny. So, Kenny brought up a really good point, just about kind of the nature of the business and how these companies, they don't, I guess even from a leadership standpoint, they don't know how to pivot. Yeah. And so you have these old fuddy-duddies who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, something that it has worked so far for them, and they're not willing to take another risk. They're extremely risk averse, and because of this risk averseness, that's why these empires are crumbling. And that's why this is the perfect time to be a startup, because you create something and you can easily get it out to market. You can easily manufacture it or whatever the case may be, and you can crush these guys.
Yeah, these old people. When you to use the example of Disney moving Kevin Feige up, and you never hear about anybody at MGM doing that. And I'm sure the same people that cast Sean Connery as James Bond are still making the money. Yeah. You don't hear about any new person moving up, which means that no new ideas are moving up, which means when this pandemic hits and you need people who have new ideas, your whole shit folds. $5 billion plus debt. The plus debt part.
The plus debt part is wild.
Yeah. So,
but it's just inherent in the nature of the entertainment industry. There's only so many ways that you can disseminate that content.
Yeah.
And as a result, you're bottlenecked by your business choices.
And by the people who make those choices. Asher, did you say anything about this point?
No, but adaptability does play a huge role, right? And I know film production has a huge overhead. So we'll see what happens with MGM. I think they own Tom and Jerry, so that better not be going anywhere.
There's a movie coming out soon, right?
I think it's out.
But then that goes to show who thought, all right, so Marvel is making a She-Hulk and a Black Panther movie. You know what we got? Tom and Jerry, put it up.
Yeah, but that goes back to the ownership of intellectual property. There was a grab in the early 2000s, which is that's what led to the breakup of Marvel. And people took all of these nobody characters, and that's what the MCU got stuck with, and they just had proper leadership. They had people that were actual nerds that knew the lore, that had followed this, that said, okay, well, I know what to give people because this is what I want. So they made movies for themselves.
Yeah,
but the problem with the problem with the ownership of intellectual property with MGM is they have these characters that have been around for 75 years that nobody cares about anymore.
Kenny has brought up every time we've reviewed the new James or talked about the new James Bond movie how he doesn't give a shit.
I don't. I just why?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm a huge James Bond
you've
fan.
seen them all.
It's a great franchise.
Goldfinger. Oh, dude, I love the franchise. That's the thing. I grew up on Goldfinger. I grew up on Connery, Dr. No, all that. I love James Bond, but once you get to a certain point in the franchise, it's like it's a complete retread. There's no tread in tires, Playboy. Let that horse ride to the sunset. I mean,
True.
But see, that also goes back to the psychology of people. People are afraid of new things.
Fact.
So by industry logic, why don't I just keep on churning out the same crap because it's worked for this long?
This model kept working. Why don't we just keep this model working? But then, lesson to the 6 people watching. Then the pandemic hits. Suddenly, that model can't work anymore.
I mean, but I think that Disney was brilliant in creating their own streaming platform. So sure, let's recreate that model, but let's maintain control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's follow what this current trend is of creating a Netflix style version of content dissemination.
Yeah.
And then that will hedge us against going out of business because movie theaters are closed. That was brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then they took advantage of streaming. There's no James Bond TV show. There's no Tom and Jerry TV show being made. I feel like they pivoted the way that they needed to, even if it was accidentally, which I guess is a proper pivot. Ash, what's your input here?
I think that speaks for itself right there. But yeah, I'm not going to lose any sleep over MGM having to be bought out by somebody else. Because as far as the consumer is concerned, I know I had to remember that word. We're still going to get our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
My main concern is just the people on the back end, the people who are helping to actually make these films behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
The filmographers, the craft services and stuff like that. Those are the people who really need to be working and are risking doing as such during the pandemic, which was one of the points of Tom Cruise's parent going off on his crew, because he's trying to prove that this can still be done despite their circumstances, because this is how people make their living. Like, he'll be okay. But it's other people who are depending on this as their money stream that they have to make sure that they are essentially setting the standard. But yeah, MGM will be fine.
Oh yeah.
Well, aren't they a subsidiary of Disney already?
No.
Technically, I think they are.
I mean, they might be.
Because I remember they used to have
Lion Tree LLC.
It was MGM Studios was like one of the parks.
I believe it was a neighboring. No, you're thinking of Universal Studios.
No,
no. She's talking about Disney MGM Studios in Orlando, Florida. I think that was a partnership. It wasn't necessarily that they owned it. I think that was still when Disney, before Disney got like super big. They were still like Disney MGM, but that split up a while ago.
And help them again and just buy their stuff.
I'm assuming it's going to be Disney or whoever runs HBO Max, because they seem to be getting every fucking thing.
AT&T is in debt. They really can't afford to take on anything more.
Shit.
That's why they are in
the government's looking to split that up anyway.
The directors of movies now, because they've been trying to move everything to streaming, and movie theaters don't like that. Directors don't like that. Especially they don't like you not talking to them first. So yeah, AT&T is dancing on.
Well, I mean, once again, just going back to sort of the life cycle of these industries, we're basically watching the death of the movie industry. Movie theaters are not going to be a thing in the future. There's really no reason to do it anymore.
I feel like reopening them. I like the theater experience.
Well, sure, but
I don't have speakers that good.
But I mean, if you look at the curve of technological innovation in the future, who's to say that we couldn't turn an entire room into our own theater. Not just
You know what? I am going to heartily disagree with you, Mr. Jones. The Music Box movie theater around here does nothing but play old classic movies and like sold out yearly for anything 70 millimeter. Like there is a subset, a subculture of I can't remember what cinephiles. Thank you. Who will always love their movie theaters and that experience and
but
the art, the art and decor. But I also know what you mean. But I think there's always going to be a market. But but like Mike said, there's going to have to be a pivot and how that market is created. There's going to be a complete rebranding. It can't be this mass-made things. I think it's going to have to feel like the Music Box Theater. Like that's Chicago's jam. I think you're gonna see a lot more like what Sony. I can't remember like AMC, like all those theaters. They're going to have to give you something completely different that's not going to feel like home.
I actually assume that they're going to, because post pandemic, people are going to want to do everything.
Yes, that's what I think too.
Once this is going, like people will go to see movies every time that they can, just because they haven't been able to in so long. I just think that the theater system is going to change hands because you have so many theaters folding now. So as Kenny said, I think they're going to have to rethink. Like, okay, maybe we do more than just popcorn.
Right, but the reason I said that is because everything is shifting to virtual. So sure, people love that 70 millimeter experience, right? But the thing is, now we have virtual reality. So any pair of goggles, any Oculus can turn your living room into a full-on environment. Who's to say that to have like VR goggles and then have some amazing sound system or some sort of immersive experience that supersedes what a 70 millimeter screen can do, like involving touch and taste and smell and these kinds of things. Movie theaters don't do that. That sort of 4 or 5D experience is what is going to come next.
For sure.
Well,
and that's something that will be able to happen in your car or anywhere, really. Yeah, Ready Player One or Sword Art Online.
I don't know, Sword Art Online, you're gonna die.
In the movie, actually have to fight stuff. I don't discount that, but I think that there will be people like me that are like, what, I like theaters. I don't need to sit next to my sex robot in my imagination.
Listen, I like VR, but that stuff makes me dizzy. So I
feel like the future of VR might accommodate for.
It's going to change.
You kind of have to. Motion sickness in VR is the thing. But I think that opportunity will be there. But I think that there will still be, there's some 4-year-old right now. Well, probably not 4, like maybe 9-year-old right now that went to go see movies before the pandemic, and they come into some money when they turn 25. They're like, you know what, I miss going to see Black Panther. Let's open a movie theater.
You're already seeing drive-in movie theaters have made the sense of a comeback. The old and the new, I think, in terms of, because I'm always talking about new, right? So I kind of sound like a hypocrite, but I think there are some things that like withstand the test of time, and I think movie theaters are that. So I definitely think there is a space for like the Oculus, the 5D, like all that virtual, but the experience that I love and that honestly that I still kind of read about, that like in terms of like, I guess I can call myself a cinephile because I like movie theaters and like classic movie theaters and how they look and the architecture that went into them, because when you went to a movie theater like this is how wild it is. This is like our generation, 30s, 40s and up, we got the like sterile movie theater, everything's the same, right? But like,
I thought you meant sterile as in like the floor wasn't sticky, or you don't know what that stain on that chair came.
but the movie theater experience in terms of like what our parents or what our grandparents had, it was, you got dressed up for it. It was like going to an actual theater, and I don't think that's what's going to return. I don't think that's what's next.
People still want to gather and yell at a movie.
Yes, I think that the idea of like people coming together and wanting that sense of camaraderie with people you don't know for a movie or a director or an actor, like those things will always matter when it comes to like that's the beauty of film. Like that's the beauty of what makes film awesome. Is like you have something that brings you to this theater. And I like whenever we're out of this pandemic, I think we'll see that return. But that return is going to look different. Like, and how will it be a lot more virtual? Yeah. Like probably. But will there also be that need for like keeping, but maybe also bringing back that so classic look of like, okay, when you come to a movie theater, it should be an experience. So.
Well, you know what I think is coming is holograms. Like that's probably I think that's going to be the next big thing, or something that
awesome.
Yeah,
I'm trying to imagine a hologram like.
I mean, you do. Honestly, you don't have to talk to the ticket dude to buy your tickets for a movie. Like I myself, I'll freely admit, I go to the kiosk. So that's literally one step away from the hologram.
Well,
so David,
like you said,
you're totally onto something.
Well, I mean, and this is just me speaking as both a technologist and a futurist. Like, there's always going to be that need for society to have that sort of to be able to touch and taste and feel things, but you can't stop the flow of innovation. You know, you can't stop that technological curve. It's inevitable. And so what I'm envisioning right now is like having a hologram movie theater in the middle of a forest preserve. Like that's probably what's going to end up happening.
That would be wild.
Yeah, but think about how dope that would be.
Yeah.
It would be.
Yeah. I mean, I believe David. As I said, David thinks in 2030. So
yeah, thinking in 4D. I feel it. Like that's.
He's in 3008.
Yeah. The rest of this.
Some things like we've seen the rise and fall of like skating rinks. Like who goes to skating rinks anymore? You know,
in Chicago, there are a lot of people that go to skating rinks. Probably still.
They still exist.
Yeah, they do on the outskirts.
I know. Shout out
like
to
a cult following thing.
He goes every week.
It is a cult following thing, though. It is a cult following thing.
It is.
I mean, I believe the theaters might develop that cult. Well, theaters already have that cult following thing. I don't think that cult anywhere.
I mean, like Kenny, you actually hit the nail on the head by just talking about the inconsistencies and fallacies of our current technology with VR. Like it does make you dizzy and so forth. But in the future, there's going to be more invasive technology where you literally won't be able to tell the difference between virtual and the now.
Yeah.
And when that happens, that's why I was saying we're kind of headed to that at this point. We're at the precipice where the next wave of technology is going to make it seem like whatever reality we're in, is going to be on par with software.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have like nanites that will enter your bloodstream, for instance, or enter into your cerebellum or whatever the receptive part of your brain is. Yeah, and I mean, like literally, kind of like Matrix, plugging in kind of thing. That's what's coming.
Yeah,
and and I mean, not to mention, like if you look at what's happening with the coronavirus, like this has changed the world forever.
Oh yeah,
and social distancing it's not going away. People's fear, the inherent fear that people have what's that?
So I social distance before this started. Yep.
That was just cool.
Social distancing. I made an easy transition.
Right. So you have these societal constructs that we've just begun to see, and this is the advent of something completely different that's about to happen that will usher in the singularity.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think an interesting thing about me and David's friendship is that I intentionally stay back from technology. So I immediately, like when you said it'll change people's perceptions, I can imagine me sitting and being like, but there's garbage all over the ground as people are like, yeah, plugged in.
With your flip phone still?
Oh, yeah, still. Probably like a backpack that I have to wind up like World War II so that I can work it, But yeah, I definitely feel you. It'll be interesting to see where this goes, and it'll be the next generation that really adapts to it fully. Like we'll just be old people. Like my grandma just got an iPhone and wants to FaceTime with me. I'll be that guy. It's like,
do you still have your flip phone?
Oh yeah.
He still he literally has a flip phone.
He really has a flip phone. Yes.
I got text messages on it like during the show. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think that our generation is really going to be the last of this, drive or movie experience kind of thing. And from here on out, we're looking at something that we might not have even fathomed that will be here in the next 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That bums me out.
I mean, the kids will like it.
Oh yeah, the kids will like it.
As they swing through the jungle next to Tarzan, and then there will be people like me that get on the vine. Like, I'm not jumping over there. It's like, Grandpa, it's fake. Yeah, I bet it is. Get this shit. So, folks, we are about to hit the 2-hour mark. It is time for shout-outs.
Shouts and murmurs.
This will be the time we've ever done shout-outs without Real Deal Razy K's illusions. It feels weird. I want to give a shout out to the 8 people who are watching. Will it show me who they are? It will not. But TC Lewis, Kevin Fair, some guy named Elgin Bakari T. Smith, and Jerry Whitworth. Thank you for the likes and hearts. I want to shout out Roxy WTF, who says, "Hey David." I want to shout out my girlfriend Nikki. Kevin Fair, who always stops in to say what's up. Jerry Whitworth, who always has
Jerry, love you, man. Nerdpick Strangers, baby.
I also want to give a shout out to Kid Mental, who made our background, did all of our drops, and made the outro music that would usually be playing right now. I want to give a shout out to Ricardo Jackson and Melvin Brooks, who run BlurdDotRadio's Facebook page. I want to give a shout out to Nikki, who has helped me extensively with the Blurred TV project, BLURD TV on Twitch and BLURD TV 2. If you want to check out music videos and promos, there is actually a 60-second plug for Lumina Energy by David Jones over there in rotation on both of those channels. Because I try to make it as much like a regular TV channel as I can. So there's like a show.
I don't even think I remember seeing that.
It's out there.
Nice.
Blurred TV.
Well, thank you.
Check it out, folks. I want to give a shout out to DJ LO Kari. I hope you. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say stop shitting. I hope you stop. I hope you stop yourself together. Keep drinking that ginger ale, and your superpowers will kick in as an added bonus to you feeling better. I want to give a shout out to Kenny and Ashley. Thank you all for tolerating this change of everything tonight.
Always something new with you.
It was a good time.
Never
know.
I
had a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I just made it back. It's always something new with you.
It's true. And a big shout out to David Jones, aka Tony Dark, Oscar Trujillo. Am I pronouncing that right? Trujillo?
Yeah, close enough. Yeah.
No, make sure he's saying your name right.
I don't want to say it wrong. My last name is Stidham. I've heard every mispronunciation of Stidham. I don't like mispronunciation.
Don't talk.
Thank you all for coming out there. Check out Lumina Energy and Light Engine Labs. Stay plugged in with them in the future. That was intentional pun. And I will pass my shout outs to Kenny.
Shout out to everybody on the show tonight. Shout out to Ash and Mike for just being awesome. And shout out to you guys, David and Oscar, for being awesome guests and powering through our random episode of Shenanigans. But no, I had a good time really talking a lot tonight. Actually, we got really in the weeds on some stuff, so that's dope.
No, we couldn't have
I
music,
like
so we had.
Yeah, honestly, I like talking. So like discussing things like that.
Really?
Yes, really, especially with
Oh my god.
You
I'm
stop
glad
it.
you
At.
joined this
You number 2 chatty, Kathy. But shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Jerry from Nervous Strangers for checking out the show. Also, we've got 3 new episodes of Nervous Strangers going up at Nervous Strangers on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you get your fancy, fun podcast. Give us a shout. And Elgin, get better soon and stop watching WWE. That's probably why your stomach hurt. Just watching all that terrible wrestling. Watching all that terrible wrestling.
All the karma hitting you in the stomach.
Yeah. There's too much good wrestling to watch bad wrestling. Watch good wrestling.
There you go, kids. Ash, what you got?
I will give a shout out to all of y'all.
Thank
Kenny for actually liking Wonder Woman.
Oh, I love Wonder Woman.
Yes, no, because all I've been seeing is like hate and dislike. So, nice to see somebody looking on the positive side of things. And
I tried to.
My family for once again putting up with me in my moody way. Let me tell you. I just don't be in the mood.
You moody, Ashley? Come on.
I know.
You're a ray of sunshine.
It's so hard to believe that I could be
a ray of sunshine.
But yeah, shout outs to them for just knowing to just leave me alone under the blankets.
Does that conclude your shout outs?
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick shout out to Sonia Chavez, who gave us this emote, the one that does this.
Yeah.
David, who do you want to shout out?
Wow. Okay. I guess a lot of friends have come out of the woodwork to support this this broadcast. So first and foremost, shout out to Oscar Trujillo, for his tireless efforts. This has been a hell of a year, and this guy has he's been a warrior, man. I appreciate you, brother. Secondly, shout out to Roxy WTF. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to use her real name, but she's one of the homies. Shout out to Sonia Chavez, one of my oldest, dearest friends. I didn't expect her to tune in for this long, so appreciate your sister. And most importantly, shout out to 2020 for being a real one.
There's been a punch in the nose.
I say that
every day.
Yeah, no, I say that half sarcastically because so many amazing things have just transpired over the last year that I was not expecting. Like I said, we're literally starting our solar city, and it wasn't even an inkling of a thought more than a week ago, But here we are. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, shout out to the entire Lumina Energy first cohort. 20 people will be graduating in, I think it's March. So the renewable energy industry will now have its first all-black renewable energy solar techs, installers, sales reps, etc.
Oh, awesome!
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and that concludes my shout outs.
Okay. Oscar, who you got?
Yeah, shout out to everyone that tuned in tonight. It was fun. Shout out to StreamYard for throwing everything but the kitchen sinks at production here today. And thanks to David for hiring some random nerd that he met with like zero to no tech experience, or at least working in a tech company, but knowing some tech, And shout out to all the Illumina team, Light Engine Lab Squad, Light Engine, we're better, I have to get that in there.
My 2 babies, yeah.
Not much love to the Illumina team. And, thank you for hosting us tonight, Kenny and Ash. Seeing how you guys talk back and forth is actually how David and I talk on a daily basis. So I wonder how we get anything done.
Hey, Lord.
Can I just give one more shout out?
Of course.
Shout out to Kenny's cat. That cat looks awesome, by the way.
Oh, thank
Troy?
you, Troy.
Troy's like
I'm a
the
cat
mascot
person.
of the show.
Over here looking like a villain.
I expect you to die, Mr. Bond.
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
Thank you all for watching BlurdDotRadio, BlurdDotRadio. We are here every week, 7:30 to 9:30 Central Standard Time. Next week, our guest will be longtime fan Amina Doctorov. You don't want to miss that. Love, peace, hair grease, wash your hands, wear a mask.
Wear a mask.
Seriously. Good night.